Hello, Energy Expansion Pod Squad. Before we dive into day 15, oh my goodness, I can't believe we're already at day 15 of the Expansion Accelerator. I wanted to drop you this little love note to remind you. I've shared it with you over the last couple of days here and there, but tomorrow is my favorite event. I have a few, but it's one of my favorite events of the entire year. It is our annual DKC virtual VIP day. We currently have over 30 incredible women signed up. I just put the finishing touches on our gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous workbook that we're going to use to guide us through the experience, whether you can be there live or if you can't be there live, but you want to save your seat. The replay will be worth its weight in gold. This is a special reminder that as one of our listeners, you can click the link at the very top of the show notes to take you to where you can reserve your seat. And you're going to use the special code that I included to get 50% off. So I really hope to see you there. And without further ado, hello, my loves, and welcome to day 15 of the Expansion Accelerator. As always, I am so excited to be here with you today. And what we're going to be diving into is big and powerful and important. And honestly, on some level, it feels long overdue. Now, parts of what we're going to be talking about today, we've woven in to different practices and teachings, but we are going to be diving straight into what it means to truly own your magic and how you can go about doing that. This isn't just about hyping yourself up with a cute little journal prompt, and we're going to have not a cute, but a powerful AF, not so little, very big journal prompt. This is more than anything a reclamation. It's about remembering who you really are, your truest essence, without all the noise, without the fluff, without the people pleasing, no constant pushing, forcing, none of that. It's about dropping back into the truest truth of who you are so that you can be that and you can take up space. You can take your rightful seat at the table, whatever that table is for you personally, professionally, all of it, completely unapologetically. And this feels like a really big deal for you and for me. This is something that I struggled with for a really long time in many areas of my life. I used to be a really big fan of the concept, the theory, the practice of fake it till you make it. And I do think that there's an essence of that in the realm of manifestation. And I don't even want to put these two things together. But I know earlier in this process, I was sharing with you the importance of letting her lead. And I think that those things can get confused, but there's a big difference between fake it till you make it, pretending, versus tapping into a version of you that you know that exists and moving from that space. Do you see how those are two very different things? That let her lead. We talk about getting matching DKC tattoos. I haven't gotten mine yet, but one of our DKC Soul Fam members did get a let her lead tattoo, and that just brings me so much joy. These are two very different things. In my mind, they're like a world of a difference, but in other people's minds, it might be hard to decipher this. But I'm bringing this up because what I have found, especially as heart-centered, high-achieving women who are moving fast, juggling a million things a minute, it's what it feels like sometimes for me, probably you too, and focused on being so many things for everyone else, it can be really, really easy to lose ourselves in that, to forget to really, truly see ourselves. We can lose sight of the fact, this is absolute fact, all caps, how brilliant, beautiful, capable, powerful, impactful, unique, needed we are. How many of you have a tendency of downplaying your gifts? Woo! I wish I could not relate to that, but I can. I'll be the first to raise my hand. How often do you find yourself minimizing your wins or bulldozing past them? Like you accomplished the thing, you made it happen, you got to whatever the destination was, and without even taking a pause to celebrate, you're like on to the next thing. Or you hesitate. The pattern of hesitation, of looking around, of waiting for permission. Can you relate to any of that? Trust me when I say that I can. This is something that I have really needed to look at in my own experience. And I'm happy to say, happy to share that I've been able to create some massive breakthroughs in this area. And I want to share that with you because we're not minimizing our wins. We're not downplaying our gifts. We're not hesitating. We're not doubting. We're not second guessing. We're not waiting for permission anymore. Not today. We are completely flipping the script. And this could be the very thing that's going to help you step into the identity of the woman that you know that you are, that you've been waiting to meet. And you've been thinking to yourself, what gives? How do I do that? Where is she? That's exactly what we're going to be doing together today. There's a couple of things that I want you to dive into, and you can pick and choose what this is going to look like for you. So the very first one is I want you to make a case for yourself. Remember when I said there wasn't going to be some cute little journal prompt? Yeah, there's no cute little journal prompts, but this could be a game changer. And I have to tell you that this first came through several years ago when a dear client of mine, a longtime client, and she's a soul sister. I feel like all of our DKC clients end up being soul family, but she was struggling with exactly what we're talking about today. And as we were wrapping up our session, the same way that I like to give you daily SAS, action steps, sometimes I call them soul assignments, I do that with my clients at the end of all of our sessions. What are the aligned action steps? What are the soul assignments that you're going to do in between now and when we meet again? And this was what we came up with for her. It was to make a case for herself. And I'll explain what that is in just a minute. But the invitation for you is to make a case for yourself. My client that day did what I'm going to share with you, and it completely changed the game. And I could feel the power of this. And so I did it for myself. And this practice is a brilliant way to help you reconnect to new levels of clarity, confidence, and just like it did for her and for me, it can help you tap into some massive breakthroughs and shifts. So I'm going to rattle these off to you right now so you can hear them, you can let them land in your body, but I will also share these in our typed out summary of today as well. And so you can choose to dive into one, a few, or all of these journal prompts. That being said, when you're ready, either right now or as soon as humanly possible when you're able to, I want you to grab your journal if you don't have it in front of you. Take a few deep breaths, maybe get a little yummy beverage, some tea, light a candle or some sage, if you will, and give yourself at least 10 minutes, maybe even 15 to dive into these. Number one, what are you most proud of? Things that have to do with you, things that you've created, things that you've experienced, who you've become. What are you most proud of? These can be big or small. What do you absolutely love about yourself? What do you love most about yourself? What makes you one of a kind? What are the things about you that really, truly set you apart? What are some of your God-given gifts, talents, and superpowers? What has God hired you to do? Why are you on this planet right now? That can be a big one. You might hear that and feel really inspired. If so, dig into it. You might hear that and feel a little intimidated or overwhelmed. If that's the case, you might want to lean in or grab one of these other ones that I'm sharing with you. How are some of the ways that you've made a positive difference in the lives of people around you? Maybe in the lives of people you're very close to, or maybe in a work setting or even a stranger. What do people thank you most for? What feels easy for you that's not necessarily easy for other people? And what is something that you do really well, maybe even better than anyone else you know? I don't want to toot my own horn. I need to stop saying that. I should toot my horn. You should toot your horn also. But I really, truly believe that I am one of the happiest, most joyful people that I know. Like really, truly. Not some show I put on or something that I'm trying to pretend, but I feel like I have more joy and happiness and this childlike wonder and this playful spirit. And even when things are not rainbows and butterflies, because trust me, most of the time they are not actually rainbows and butterflies, I can find the good and I can latch on to that. And I think some of that, to be honest, I have trained my brain using all the tools I've been sharing with you. And also, I think it's part of the way I'm uniquely wired. And so those are some of my favorite things about me. And I think because of that, I get to be a catalyst of joy and play and pleasure and happiness and an expansion activator. So I'm just kind of weaving in some of what I see in me, hoping that this will help you see in you what there is that wants to flow through you today as you make a case for yourself. So this is a little more than a handful of different prompts, but you can take this and run with this. These are all of the good and grand and beautiful, wonderful things about you. These are the things that make you truly one of a kind. So let it pour out, no filtering, no holding back. This is really, truly your permission slip to rave about yourself. Be a raving fan. Be your own biggest fan. I really feel like that is the greatest gift that we could give ourselves. And you're not doing this from a place of ego or comparison or hierarchy, like you're better than someone else. You're doing this from a place of embodied truth. Okay. So number one is make a case for yourself. Number two, this is really fun. And I hope that this takes you a little while and like you're really digging in here. But I love having a place to store love notes. I have an album on my phone in my camera roll where I take screenshots of things that I want to come back to. Loving text messages, DMs that I receive from clients or loved ones or people who are in my community who reflect back really loving things to me, client testimonials, feedback that people give me, screenshots from different social media platforms. I use different types of messaging apps. I use WhatsApp, Telegram, and Voxer for different things. These can even be sweet love notes, sticky notes. This doesn't have to actually be at all related to your business whatsoever. That is really helpful though. I have sweet, loving text messages from my mom, from my grandma, who many of you probably know at this point that I lovingly call my Granny Goose. I have messages, sweet messages from my husband now that my kids are getting older and getting access to devices like iPads and iPhones. We have a family text thread and the sweetest things land there. And so I really want to encourage you to either from this moment forward, start gathering any and everywhere you're receiving sweet, loving messages, screenshot them and file them there, put them in those spaces. If you really want to take this a step further, you can spend a little bit of time today and or this week going back through old messages and having a place where you can save all of these. This is a really beautiful way to come back to the truth of who you are when you forget. And a really big part of this is we want to be sourcing from within ourselves the truth of who we are. We don't want to have to constantly look outside of ourselves for validation. And also, if we're being really honest, having loving reflection from people who we care about, who we love, who we admire, can really make a difference. These are the receipts of your greatness, the impact you're making, the difference you're making in people's lives. So again, I have this saved as a folder in my camera roll of my phone. You might want to have something in a notes app, a Google Doc, a Canva file, honestly, whatever is easiest for you to come back to and add to again and again and again. Think of this as the I forgot who the F I am emergency kit. That's how I thought of this myself. And this final one, this really is a super duper bonus one. Again, because I don't want us to ever feel like we have to rely. We never want to feel like we need to rely on external validation. But there will be moments where you feel disconnected from the truth of who you are. And so having these things that you can go back to is really helpful. And number 3, which is really truly a bonus, SaaS and energy expander, can help you funnel. It'll start giving you content to add to your love notes folder, to your receipts, to your I forgot who the F I am emergency kit, whatever you want to call it. And this one takes a great deal of courage. This is something that I've been weaving in and out of the different programs I've hosted over the years. And so it's been a part of my work for a really long time. And I love seeing what comes up for people when they have the courage to lean into it. And I promise you, it's worth it. Specifically in those moments when we can't necessarily see ourselves clearly, which for whatever reason, I have found that so many women in my world, these heart-centered, soul-led, impact-driven, high-achieving women, I feel like we can forget who we are. We can struggle with seeing ourselves clearly more than any other group in the population. And so, again, loving reflection can be really helpful. So the invitation is to ask 3 people what they appreciate most about you. This can be something that you text to your significant other, to your best friend, to your sibling, to your kids, depending on how old they are, to your parents, to a mentor. This can also be something, this is the part that feels really edgy, but also sometimes, most of the time, most rewarding. If you leverage any kind of social media platform, you can do a little post and you can mention that you're participating in a transformational program. And today's prompt, today's invitation is to open yourself up to receiving love and appreciation. And you better believe that people who really genuinely care about you, if they see that, they're going to want to stop their scroll and share. To help you with this, I will put in our summary for today, something that you could really easily copy and paste. So there are 3 different, really two different energy expanders today. You can do one of them or you could do both of them, and then the bonus one will feed into the others as well. So we've got make a case for yourself is number 1. Create your love notes, your receipts, your I forgot who the FIAM emergency toolkit is number 2. And number 3 is ask for loving reflection. With that said, that's a wrap on day 15, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow for day 16.